Okay, guys, I have a secret to tell you. And you may not believe this, but English was my worst subject. What's up, guys, and welcome back to White Girl Friends English. Today we're going to talk about a different way to learn English. Like I already said, English was my worst subject. I hated English. I hated the whole class. Every year I took English, it was my least favorite class that I ever took. I preferred study hall rather than English. That was until I became a true language learner. So the reason why I hated English in school is because my English class was a lot of like your language classes in your native language. There was a bunch of rules and grammar. I felt like my teachers were being nitpicky about writing it this way. You shouldn't use passive voice. The paper isn't formatted correctly. You're switching between tenses too often. Don't use personal pronouns and academic writing. You didn't use that past perfect correctly. All these things. Things that frustrate you guys were frustrating me because I thought I knew it all. I'm a native speaker. I don't need my English teacher's help. I speak English just fine. In the end, though, I was grateful for all of my English teachers continuing to push me towards better English, because without it, I would have sounded really bad. True, I would have been a native speaker in English, but my writing and my actual speaking, my pronunciation, it would have been much worse. And when I went to university, I found myself using exactly what they taught me in those English classes. And so I was actually at an advantage than those kids that said, because I don't need it, because I already know it, I'm not going to learn it. But the pieces of the puzzle really never got put together until I went to China. I'd studied Spanish in high school. I had studied ancient Hebrew in university, but it wasn't until I went to China that really the puzzle pieces start to put into place of why I love languages. You see, my favorite subject was math. I loved math. I loved the puzzle of math. I loved putting the pieces together, finding X, finding the slope of a line. I loved that because it was like I was a detective. I had the thing in front of me. I just had to switch some things around and use my brain to figure out the answer, because the answer is there. It's not like insinuated. It's not implied. There's not implications. It's there. I just have to figure it out. And so when I went to China, I realized that actually a lot of language learning is very similar. It's not ambiguous. It's not that vague as I thought it was, because it's right there. Chinese is really good because they actually have particles in the words. They don't change the verb tense. They add a particle to the word to make it past or past perfect or past progressive. And I loved that. And I saw it as math. But here's where it comes down to this video. This video, I'm going to try to show you guys that you can actually learn, well, really test your English by using math. So one of the most difficult things in math are things called word problems. Every person in math that I know, they hate the word problems, because if it's just numbers and letters, you switch them around and you get the right answer. But word problems, you actually have to combine two things together. You have to combine English grammar and simple arithmetic or simple math. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you two examples, and what I want you to do is after each example, I want you to pause the video. I'm going to put it as a full screen so you guys can read the question yourself. So you can pause the video, try to solve the problem, no cheating, and see if you can get the right answer. This will test not only your math, but also, more importantly, how well you know English grammar. There's going to be an easier one that's going to be first, and then I'm going to go into more advanced one. So let's get to the easy one. John is celebrating because school is out for the summer. He's already had 2 sodas. His mom said that he shouldn't drink more than 6 sodas in a single day. So how many more sodas can he drink today? Okay, so pause the video here. See if you can figure out the answer to the question. Okay, so mathematically, this is incredibly easy. All it is taking the goal, the target amount of sodas, and that equals how many sodas he has already drank now and how many more he can drink. So the equation looks something like this. So mathematically, if you switch the numbers around, you get it to where he can drink 4 more sodas. That was an easy one. Let's go to a more difficult one. The second question we have today is going to really test your advanced grammar. So like I said before, pause the video so that you can get a really good understanding of what this question is asking and see if you can go ahead and put your answer in the comment below so you can see if you are right. So here's the question. Cindy has been studying for the bar exam for 3 hours every day for the past 2 months since the start of the new year. It takes an average of 400 study hours to pass the bar exam. If she maintains the same study rate, will she likely pass her test exam on May 1st? If not, how much more time does she need to study every day to likely pass the exam by the time her test comes? So grammar-wise and even mathematically, this is a complicated question because we have different time frames going on here. We have months, we have days, we have hours. So we got to convert all that into hours. So you start with the 2 months she's already studied. You take that means about 60 days. 3 hours a day is about 180 hours. So that gives us how much she has already done. So you take the target 400, you minus the 180, you get that she has 220 potential hours she needs to do. So now we have to find how much time does she have left. Well, May 1st means that she has 4 possible months in that time frame. She's already done 2, so she has 2 more months. So that means that we're going to double her potential study time. So if it was 180 before, that means that the total potential time that she can spend on studying for the bar is 360. That is 40 hours less than 400. So no, she will not likely pass her exam studying at this rate. But let's say she's reflecting on this and she wants to figure out, okay, how much do I need to increase my rate of study per day for me to get the bar exam in 2 months? So now we're talking about the goal. The goal is 220 hours. And so we had to do 220 hours. That's the total goal, equals how many hours per day. We're going to put that as an X times the number of days. That's a fixed number. That's 60. We know that because she only has 2 months left. So we take 220, we divide that by 60, and that gives us 3.66, which, remember, this is in hours. So if we're going to write this in minutes as well, it would be she needs to add 40 more minutes to her study session every day if she wants to likely pass the bar exam. So that was a little complicated. I'm hoping that the visuals that I have here on screen will help you with that. But the point is that these math problems, these word problems, they don't just test the math, they test the grammar. They test how well you know advanced grammar and the meanings that it communicates. So I will say that math questions will not teach you English, but they are a really good test for you to know the ideas and the implications that these grammar structures actually carry in our language, to the point where we can convert it into numbers. Language is not vague all the time. When we are talking about grammar, we're talking about rules, and those rules can be even converted into mathematical formulas. So if you liked this kind of idea, we actually have a free resource of 10 follow-up questions for you to do on your own, and we're going to send the answers later on. There's a link in the description below. You can write your email. We will send you those questions, and then a little bit later, after you've worked on them a little bit, we'll send you the answers so that you can kind of check yourself to see how well you did. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We love to do different things here on this channel. We love to try to do ways and teach English in a way that maybe you've never done before. And that means that you pull from different areas to try to get new ways to test your English and to figure out how to get to that point where you can be fluent. And a large part of that is just knowing the ideas that our words and our grammar structures carry. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.